Alright, here's how I'm going to set this up. I've got 3 boxes. My original box, 2 copies in which I've placed modifiers. This is a taper, this is spherify. So I'll grab the original box, pick from scene, add the taper, add the second one here, pick from scene, add the sphere. So now I can taper it or I can spherify it. So what I'm going to do now is just go to auto key and I'll go and just morph this thing around so that it goes from one shape to the other, and eventually I want it to go back to this box shape so that I end up with a tiling animation. So what I'll do is I'll go to like frame 30 and we'll completely taper it. Maybe go to frame 68 and we'll completely spherify and get rid of the taper. Okay, so we're getting that kind of action. Now what I want to make sure happens here is that at this frame there's still no spherify. So that's going to go from 0 to 100 on the taper. And then that's going to go to the sphere, and then we'll go back to this shape here. So that should give us a tiling animation. If I rewind and hit play. Okay, so it tiles really nicely and you don't see any hiccuping or anything like that. Now, what you may want to do with yours, is play around with the speed of them in max, where you put your keyframes to make sure your water actually looks and moves like water. I'm going to go and export this like this. I'll create an FBX called box morph. And what I'll do here is I'm going to make sure that I'm exporting animation. I'm using my scene names. I'm baking the animation down, and that I'm including morphs. Now I'm going to turn off the skins here because we don't need that. That should get rid of the bind pose error. So I'll do that. I'll hit OK. Then I'll go into Unreal and we'll go and import that in, box morph. So we're going to tell this to be skeletal, even though there is no skeleton. We're going to make sure that morph targets is turned on, and we'll import the normals here. And that should be fine. So I'll hit OK. Still getting the bind pose error, though. This is, if you notice, it's not an error, it's a warning. Because this is an animated mesh, we don't actually see that happening. So here is now, you can see the keyframes, sphere and taper. It's going, and blending these correctly, so you see the animation here. The animation is looping too, which is nice and good. So cool. All I'm going to do now is bring that into the scene. So now I've got a skeletal mesh in the scene, and in order to assign the animation to that, all I'm going to do is go into the details pane here, and I'm going to use, instead of an animation blueprint, I'm going to use an animation asset, and from the drop down list I'll use my box morph. I can make sure it's looping and playing, and the initial frame, which is 0, I can even go in and speed it up or slow it down. So if I double the speed here like this, that should work like that. So if I hit play now and I go and check out that box, it's now actually just morphing for me.